Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Hey everyone, so happy you can join us for the Love Everyone podcast.
With your hosts, Govind Das and Rama Chandra Das.
A conversation of love, devotion, and walking the path of Bhakti Yoga.
Jai Shri Ram. Welcome everybody to the Love Everyone podcast. This is episode 13.
Jai Hanuman. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hey brother, great to see you, my friend.
Yeah, great to see you too. You're in another room yet again.
Another room.
What room is this?
This is our new home.
Your new home.
We circled the world and we found a home. And we moved. Yep, we signed a lease last week and got our kids in school. And as you can see, it's a home with not very much in it, but it's a home. It was actually...
Yeah, those of you who are not watching on YouTube, you might be able to hear the emptiness of the room in the sound. But well, congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Where did you end up?
We landed in the Encinitas area, which is San Diego, North County, San Diego. And technically our mailing address is Carlsbad because we're literally right across the line. But it's just a beautiful area. And, you know, this area is very, so shall we say, famous for Paramahansa Yogananda. His self-realization fellowship is right on Swami's beach. And he lived there for a long period of time. And it was a very special place. So there's a lot of devotees in the area and just a beautiful, beautiful charm. And, you know, my family, we all kind of wanted to move different places. And this was an agreed upon place that just felt right for all of us. And it's a lovely place. It really is. There's just great energy and great vibes. And we found a beautiful house and can't wait for you to come visit, my brother. This is going to be your room when you come down.
I thought you said it was going to be the recording studio.
Well, it's going to have a couch in it too.
Oh, okay.
A pull-out couch.
Okay. I thought you were just going to be like, just get in there, get to work.
I need a guitar track right now.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy
happy
to lay that down for you if I could. So
nice.
Oh man, but I don't know about it. You think, I don't know, a guitar track, wouldn't that be stepping on your wife's toes a little bit?
Oh yeah, but you know, okay. Vocal track. How's that sound? Vocal track.
Maybe an electric guitar track or something.
She's getting an electric guitar, actually. She was donated an electric guitar from Guitar Center from the fire. So that's going to be really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, that's actually something I've been really getting into my electric guitar recently. And in fact, it's not hanging, and I even put up a hanger for it just to get it out of the closet so I'd spend more time with it. And I've got this rock kirtan band fantasy that I've been harboring for a long, long time. But I actually had a rehearsal yesterday with a potential drummer.
Really?
Yeah, just sort of playing around with it, you know, and just, you know, there's so much of like my rock and roll roots that, you know, get to come out a little bit in kirtan, but
yeah,
you know, they want to come out more, I guess.
That's cool. That's cool. You know, it's funny because for Friday night, we did a Janmashtami Kirtan, and my friend Becca, Jairam's sister, she came down from LA to play guitar with us, and she played an electric guitar.
Wow.
Which sounded really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, so why not, you know?
Rock kirtan.
I remember years ago when I was just getting started and I was on a Jai Utal retreat, and I was chatting with Jai one day, and he says, well, so what is it that you want to do? And I said, you know, kind of deep down, what I really want to do is start a kirtan rock band.
Really? I never knew this.
Well, I haven't shared it a whole lot, with people, and we've just been so busy with, the Rama Melissa duo and all that stuff, and he was like, "Well, you should do it," So now here, like, well over a decade later, I'm starting to plant some seeds, So we'll see. And because some of the new melodies and stuff that have been coming through, like I'm like usually it's just kind of just sort of a mishmash. I'll just be playing harmonium or guitar or something, and then some kind of melody will start to trickle in or whatever. But on this last one, it's a Maha Mantra, and almost immediately, like, I heard the whole band.
Mm.
But it wasn't like a kirtan band with a mridanga, and a harmonium. It was like big kick drum,
Yeah,
big bass sound, like shredding electric guitar, and
that's
I heard the
cool.
whole thing,
That's
and now
cool.
so I've just been playing with it. So
Have you heard of this band from Vrindavan called Madhava's Rock Band?
yeah,
I
they're
mean, they're
awesome.
huge. They
They're
are
huge.
a massive like following all throughout
Yeah.
India. But it's really interesting because when I listen to their music, it doesn't sound like rock. Have you heard any of their music
I
before?
have, and I
Yeah.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. It's a
I
clever
mean, it's
name or
got
something, but
they're beautiful, beautiful, incredible musicians. Um, but it doesn't sound like a rock band. So it's interesting
yeah.
that that's the title, motto, or the band
Yeah.
name.
Didn't Goravani just do a track with them maybe six
Yeah.
months ago or
Yeah,
so?
he did. He did.
Yeah. It's weird. I'm getting like a strange echo from one of my instrument, maybe my guitar. I don't know. Anyway, can you hear anything?
I
No.
can't. I
Okay, great.
cannot hear it.
All right,
I
great.
cannot hear it.
Great.
So how about you guys? What's been going on? How's the new album being received?
Everything has been great so far, and people are saying nice things about it, and or they're listening to it, and I think, and we're just gearing up now for our record release party.
Hmm.
Um, we've got a we're going to put on a big show here on September 20th in Seattle, and we got a full band, and we've got a slide guitar player and a drummer, and Easy E is going to fly up and play
Yeah.
bass.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a big
Great.
party, and so that's kind of like the next step is to promote that and get it
Where are
all.
you guys going to do it at?
I'm going to do it at the church that we normally do it at, the CSL. Yeah. But so we're making swag, we're getting hats and shirts and making this little lyric book that goes along with it, because the record's called The Story of Sita and Ram.
Right.
We got this little lyric book that tells like a story as well of each song. And it's like a separate book. It's not like a liner note that slides inside. It's like a separate little booklet,
Yeah.
like one of those little Hare Krishna books that you can
That's
get.
cool.
And it's gonna have all the lyrics and all the translations, but then it also has like a little story about each of the chants as well.
And everybody that comes will get one of these
Well, if they
if they
if they
purchase it.
purchase one, they'll have the
Okay. I
opportunity.
thought maybe it would be included in the ticket. That's cool.
I
Yeah.
wish, but it's actually going to be quite beautiful, and it's going to be a bit of it's going to be a bit of a cost.
I'm
So
sorry I asked that question.
that's okay. Well, it's good though, because now at least we've clarified for anyone who is coming to the thing. Yeah, no, that'd be a great idea, but we would just end up having to raise the ticket price, and so maybe.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I'm sorry I won't be there, but I will be seeing you the week after because
Yeah,
I'll be in Seattle. So we'll be able to hang.
amazing.
Maybe we can do a podcast from that room right there
We will.
together.
We for sure will do a podcast from here, and we're also gonna do a Monday night kirtan.
Oh, that makes my heart happy.
Isn't that amazing?
That's so great.
Yeah, yeah. So stay tuned for that, Seattle area people. We'll be doing a Monday night kirtan. I guess that's the 28th or 29th or whatever that is at the end of September. So, so cool. So how does it feel to be, as you said, back in the Matrix?
Gosh, this has been the busiest week of my life, bro. I have built 2 desks, 2 beds, 2 dressers, an outdoor table. My back yesterday from hunching over and using screwdrivers and hammers. Oh my God, I couldn't even walk yesterday. And so it's been an intense week coming into a house with nothing, with
Yeah.
like with not even a spoon, a fork, a blender, a plate, nothing. So to get the house and so our kids could feel somewhat comfortable, just to that point
Yeah.
was a lot.
Right. Because you're not like moving into that house.
Right.
You're
We're
coming, you're starting over from scratch.
from scratch, exactly. But it's really interesting what I've been just meditating on since that January 7th day of the fires, how it's just looped us all literally the whole way around the world. The most beautiful 4.5 months of my life, singing kirtan everywhere, and then landing us in this new wonderful home in Encinitas, North County, that's it's so dear to me. I moved to San Diego in 1993 is where I started my journey in California. I left University of Maryland. I finished, I graduated, I came to California, and I moved to San Diego. I stayed about 2 years.
Mm.
And actually, I followed a girl up to Los Angeles and stayed 30 years in Los Angeles. I was
30
reflecting
years.
30 years of my life. I lived
Wow.
in Los Angeles. And it was so wonderful. And there were many of those years where I was doing everything I could to leave Los Angeles, but something kept pulling me back. I had work to do, I had karma there. And it's really interesting. The last 3 years or so, I fell in love with living in Los Angeles. The
Hmm.
satsang, the culture, the people, the beaches, the mountains. I was like, okay, this is my home. I love it.
And then,
And then boom, Kali Ma does her thing.
Kali Ma.
And so now this big loop back to where I started my journey in California. I'm back in San Diego County, and it's wonderful. The air is clean, the ocean waters are clean, the beaches are beautiful, the sunshine is abundant, and there's in this particular area, there's so much kirtan. I had kirtan Friday night. Sunday, there was a kirtan gathering. This Friday night, there are 2 kirtans. Saturday night, we're at Soul of Yoga, and there's another kirtan in a different place in the community. So there's tons of kirtan
Mm.
and just a lot of really spiritually oriented people in this North County area. So
Amazing.
it feels really, really good. It feels like home.
Well, welcome home.
And I'll be driving up to Los Angeles. Last week, I already drove up twice, so I imagine once a week, I'd like to start another weekly kirtan, maybe Monday night kirtan there, and to continue to be with that community there, because community's been my heart and soul for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, brother. It's just it's such a perfect example of, that we can't judge the circumstances that are happening in our lives. We can't we can't know what the divine Leela, we don't know what Baba's puppet strings are doing when one day your house is burnt down and it seems like you've lost everything, and yet at the same time open the door to what feels like on so many levels like you've gained so much.
Mm.
I mean, those your kids, for example, I keep thinking about your kids and the experience that they've just gone through in the last 4.5 months. I mean, who did you have an experience like that when you were a
No.
kid? I mean, like, what a blessing. I mean, those, both Ruby and Mally are, now are just filled with so much understanding of the world and of their place in the world
Mm,
and the different cultures and the different kinds of people. And it's like, I mean, that's worth years and years of school.
yeah.
So, and so many blessings.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting to see how they'll do because they're being after this vast expansiveness of traveling the world. Now they're back in the box. Ruby started school last week, not
Wow.
knowing anybody. Mally starts school tomorrow, and and we'll see how they do once the homework starts and all this kind of stuff again.
It's what they asked for,
Yeah, it's what they
right?
said. We want to come back and go to school. I said, you're the first kids that have ever said that in the history of the world. But that's what they wanted. And, I
I
guess just to
wonder
be
what I would have done.
grounded.
I wonder what I would have been like at, I can't, I don't think at 15, is that Mally's 15 now, right?
15, yeah.
I have a hard time believing that the 15-year-old me would have wanted to go back to school.
Dude, the 15-year-old me, I was so immature. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
I have no idea how I could have handled any of that. Gosh.
oh yeah, it's a different time. I mean, kids
Yeah.
kids growing up fast these days, huh?
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
Oh man. All right, let's dive
Let's
into it.
let's do it, brother. Let's do it. We'll start with our opening prayers to honor the Guru. Om Akanda Mandala Karam Vyaptam Yena Chara Charam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who revealed to me the supreme truth, which is unfragmented, infinite, timeless divinity, and which pervades the entire universe.
Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who opened my eyes, which had been blinded by the darkness of ignorance by applying the divine ointment of self knowledge.
Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Guru is the creator, sustainer, and the destroyer. Guru is the supreme spirit, both manifest reality and the absolute. My reverential salutations to the glorious Guru who resides in the hearts of all beings as the true self.
Hari Om. Bolo Shri Satgurudev Bhagwan Ki.
Jai,
Shri Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki.
Jai. Mm.
Jai Gurudev. All right, everybody. So this is where we begin our line of the Hanuman Chalisa. So we are actually on line 10, and I'll read the English a couple times and then the Avadi, and then we can have some reflections and talk about this line, get this discussion going. Taking a dreadful form, you slaughtered demons and completed Lord Ram's mission.
Mm.
Once again, taking a dreadful form, you slaughtered demons and completed Lord Ram's mission. Bhima Rupa Dari Asura Sanghare Rama Chandra Ke Kaja Sanvare. Once again, Bhima Rupa Dari Asura Sanghare Rama Chandra Ke Kaja Sanvare. Taking a dreadful form, you slaughtered demons and completed Lord Ram's mission. All right, my brother, my Guru Bhai. What do you think? Any
Hmm.
initial reflections coming through about this one?
Uh, so this is an extension of what we were talking about last time, showing Hanuman's, ability to shapeshift, and we see that in line 9, the line we talked about last time, that he took a tiny form to appear before Sita. He took an awesome guise to burn Lanka, and in this case, he takes a dreadful form and he slaughters the demons. And um, you told a bit of the story last time, that when Hanuman flies across the ocean and he discovers Sita in the Ashoka Grove, after he has his conversation with Sita and reassures Sita that Ram is coming, he decides that he wants to send a message to Ravana. And so he becomes enormous and he starts uprooting all the trees and all the flowers and stomping on the garden. This is Ravana's precious Ashoka Grove, his most prized garden of all of his capital of Lanka. And it's in this moment that Ravana sends, soldiers there to take care of him, and he just destroys them, just like with ease. Um, yeah, he uproots trees and just wipes out all these, terrible demons. And Ravana keeps sending more and keeps sending more and keeps sending more. He even sends one of his sons, Akshay, who is killed by um, Hanuman as well. But so there's a couple thoughts. So first is this idea of demons, you know, and the demons. This is why this teachings of the devas and the demons are so it's so rich. Is that, one of the definitions for deva, which is all the gods, all the deities, so Shiva and Vishnu and and Agni and Vayu and so on and so on, that they're all called the devas, and it means essentially the light bringers, or the ones of light. So the devas are the light, and the demons are the darkness. And how do you get rid of darkness? Is with the devas. And the demons, though, really, when we're thinking about it from a spiritual perspective, or at least my view on this, is that when we're talking about demons in terms of yoga and in terms of bhakti, is that the demons they're all within our mind and our intellect and our ego. And it's when we shine the light of understanding, when we like, as we even said in the guru invocation, which, by the way, I didn't know that first line of the guru invocation had the word whoops in it. Is that originally a Sanskrit word, or?
I thought I was, I'm going to leave it.
I'm teasing.
I thought I had done the whole line. And
It's
then I realized
You
I only did
integrated
half
it
of the
so well.
line.
What I'm saying is you integrated it
I was
so
like,
well.
oops.
Whoops. And then you kept going. And I was like, wait a second, is that in there? I was reading the paper. I was like,
Doesn't
no, it's
sound
not
like
in.
Sanskrit.
Didn't sound like Sanskrit. Yeah, okay. But this what I was saying is that this line, when you say salutations to the guru who opened my eyes which had been blinded by the darkness of ignorance by applying the divine ointment of self-knowledge, right? So that darkness of ignorance, which is the demons in our mind, that we apply the light, we apply the awareness, the self realization awareness of that, the higher yogic teachings, and this is what destroys the demons. And what Tulsidas is telling us here is that that Hanuman can be light for us. In this case, he's taking a dreadful form because we're caught in the story, and the story is that he becomes big and mean and all that stuff like that. But at the same time, um, he's just shining that light so bright, and we hear a lot about Hanuman's light and the brightness and the luminosity of Hanuman. And I think in some ways, like, I've just been really contemplating this a lot lately in my meditation and in my thinking about, you know, what are the demons, and the demons are all of our self-defeating thoughts. Our demons are our ego that thinks we're better or worse than other people. Our demons are the greed or the infatuation or the lust that we experience. And Hanuman can destroy all of that. So that's the first thing. But then the second part, I think, is the one of the most quintessential aspects of Hanuman and Ram Bhakti is this idea of Hanuman completing Lord Ram's mission. Everything that Hanuman does, as we learned in line 7, that he's ever intent on Ram's work. But he says it again, that Hanuman is the one who completes Lord Ram's mission. So Ram's mission, is this grand mission of restoring righteousness and dharma in the world by defeating all of the demons. And Hanuman is like an instrument for Ram. And Hanuman has no desire other than doing this work for Ram. So, this is something that I really try to dig deep for myself, when I'm sort of struggling in life or feeling really challenged by things or not feeling fulfilled or whatever. I really try to come back to these moments of you know trying to put myself in Hanuman's shoes, you know, and imagine that, that everything that I'm doing is for Ram. And it's not about me, because it's never about Hanuman. It's always about Ram and Sita and serving that divine. Um, and when I can get there, a lot of times, I don't know if you know this, Govindas, but sometimes when you're struggling, it's hard to see the light.
Mhm.
Do you ever have that experience?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
You're like, and you even have the thought of like, hey, I even know that what I should do right now is shine the light of self-awareness onto this situation. And even then, sometimes it's just like such a challenge just to even it's one thing to remember all these things that we know and that we talk about and that we learn from the Chalisa and that we share with our students and all that kind of stuff, but then it's just a whole nother thing to actually apply them. but
Mhm.
but when I read about Hanuman and how he has all these superpowers, all these amazing abilities, all the strength, all the courage, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, and he never uses it for his own selfish benefits. I mean, what a role model. What a role model. So, those are just some thoughts here, but there's so much as there is in every one of these Maha mantras. What about you? What are you, is this bringing up anything for you,
Wow,
brother?
yeah, so much while you were talking. Beautiful, though. Thank you for that. And the first word that just really popped out at me, like it's never popped out at me as we're just really bringing this microscopic focus onto this line, is the word dreadful.
Mm.
And I never really got that from this line, that Hanuman can be dreadful. Well, who is Hanuman dreadful against? where does Hanuman, what could we say, share his dread towards is of course the demons and all of these qualities that you had spoken about. So we when we're bringing this into this almost metaphorical perspective, that the selfishness and the lust and the egoism and the anger and the fear and the doubt and the hate, which are all of our inner demons, the presence of service and love and devotion and seva orientation is dreaded towards those qualities, that those qualities have no chance to strengthen when we bring a dedicated focus to living with these types of qualities. But the word dread, that's a very powerful word. And that's what's used to describe how powerful Hanuman is in relation to the demonic qualities. So that was the first thing that popped up for me. And I really got that deeply. This quality of Hanuman's dreadfulness. If those qualities could see Hanuman, they're scared to death.
That's
when
right.
Hanuman's coming towards them, or the fear and the doubt and the lust and the anger. If they could feel when the presence of love and devotion come towards them, that they're scared to death because they realize they have no chance to continue living. Now, taking it away from this sort of anecdotal, metaphorical perspective, I started to think about that this was the first message that was sent to Ravana through Hanuman. And this, he was Ravana, even Ravana's wife at a certain point says, Ravana, look what one monkey has done. Look what one monkey has done, which was, killed the demons, lit Lanka on fire. This was what Ram's forces as Hanuman, Ramaduta, as the messenger of Ram, left in Lanka before he flew back over the ocean. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well, too. But then going to this final aspect that you had talked about, Rama Kaja, that you fulfilled Lord Ram's mission. And you said, what's Ram's mission? Ram's mission is to restore Dharma and restore righteousness. And I'm thinking again about this metaphorical way, that what's our mission? What's our divine purpose?
To love everyone.
To love everyone, to come back into alignment. Because of our, what could we say, erroneous thinking. We're off. We're out of alignment because we're constantly thinking about me, and all of the dominating forces that come from this me, the lust, the greed. How am I going to get that? Or I want this, or all of these desires. And we're just living in that. We're just totally consumed and obsessed with this erroneous way of thinking. So invoking Hanuman, he helps us to realign, to come back into righteousness, to come back into balance, where it's not about me, it's about my relationship with Ram, my relationship with God, my living in service, my doing my part to make this world a better place,
Mm,
my being a beneficial presence to all beings and all things.
mm.
So yeah, just looking at this line, and this is such a blessing that we're having this opportunity to really dissect these lines like this, so that we can develop this gyan, this understanding together.
Yeah, this is when I would talk about this second part, this completed Lord Ram's mission, and this idea of being a servant to Ram, for so many people, and they hear that, they immediately, like, that word servant puts them off, or surrender, that puts people off, um, but 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 actually, it's like an actual quality of Hanuman that we aspire to. The more you learn about Bhakti Yoga, and the more you learn about the nectar that's available to the devotee, and the more you taste that nectar, you know, the as we've talked in the past, so many of the things that we thought we wanted, they just start to fall away because they just pale in comparison. And I'm just thinking of something that I wanted to share with you today. Anyway, was that I just finished reading Tulsidas' version Ramcharitmanas of Ramayana again. I don't know how many times I've read it, but I do it every so often, and I just got through the whole thing, in a couple of days ago. And one of the things that I really started to notice at the end, um, it, well, it happens throughout the entire story, but it happens so often in Tulsidas's, which is much more devotional than the Valmiki version, is that every time somebody is like there with Ram, and Ram is like gracing them and saying, "What can I give you as a boon or a blessing?" Every time they say the same thing. In essence, they say, "May I please have eternal devotion to your holy lotus feet. Now that I have seen you in the flesh, in person, like, this is a vision that even saints and sages have a difficult time achieving. Now that I've seen this beatific vision of you, my life's purpose is fulfilled. And so please just make it so I will always, always, always love you and remember you." And they never ask for any stuff. They never ask for any power. They never ask for anything for themselves. They never ask for a bigger family or a pretty wife or anything. They always ask for the same thing. And so I was thinking about this and starting to make this connection, is that once you, like, so I can imagine, once you've seen Ram, right? Once you've actually had darshan, and you've actually maybe touched Ram's feet, and you've had this moment, which is ultimately there's the connection, the union, that we're all looking for, right? You have so many ways to describe it. You always like to say the God-shaped hole in our heart, but or we can find it through satsang, with just being around, high beings. We can find it in our study. We can find it on our yoga mat. We can find it in our kirtan. So many ways, but we're all longing for that same thing, that connection, right? That feeling, that connection. Once you've had that kind of darshan of, like, literally being there with Ram in the flesh, how could you want for anything? How could you, because nothing, now, because you've tasted what it feels like to be that, and I was thinking about this too, is like, it doesn't matter how good your life is in terms of material aspects, right? If you don't have this union piece, this connection to spirit, this connection to your higher self or whatever, you don't have shit. And you see the unhappiest people in the world have millions and billions of dollars. But if they don't have that, that connection. So of course, that's what you would ask for if you had tasted how amazing that 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 real darshan and that experience. And although and I've had little tastes of it, but it's like across the board. I mean, Tulsidas must repeat this line like a 2 or 3 dozen times throughout the book, of just people saying, I want nothing. Just let me stay in devotion to you. And that's ultimately, and Hanuman says the same thing. And that's exactly where Hanuman's mindset is. And guess what? He has everything else he needs, but all he wants is to serve Ram. And that's ultimately, and Ram too, out of all of the yogis and the saints and the sages, he loves most the pure devotee. The one that loves him the most is who he ultimately prefers and showers his grace upon. So, so this completing Ram's mission isn't even like it stems from this place of selflessness. And we cultivate that in bhakti about releasing our own selfish desires. But the beauty is that when we actually really, I think, at least that's what Tulsidas is saying. I should, I don't sound like I'm necessarily speaking from experience, but when we really surrender and devote ourselves to Ram, well, then we are we are we are showered
Mm.
with His grace, showered. So, uh, yeah, this is just something I just cannot stop thinking about, Um, when I think this is important too, like to think about, like when we pray and when we come to the altar and we fall to our knees in front of Hanuman or Neem Karoli Baba or whoever it is that we are, reaching out to, um, is just to remember that no matter what we think we want, is that what we really want is to feel that connection. Because I know when I don't feel that connection, it's it's the most painful thing.
Mm.
And I experience it all the time. So I know what it's like. And when I'm feeling it, it's really, really painful. And I just long to be back in satsang, or to be back in kirtan, or to be back in somewhere where I can't, you know, where the demons have no sway, you know.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I when when you're speaking about selflessness, like this is the prescription, selfless service, and how good it feels. Like, I think we've learned over and over again that being selfish does not feel good.
yeah,
From an egoic, shallow place, it puffs something up, but that's like very fragile. But selfless behavior and the sincere desire to want to help others and in taking action, karma means action, karma yoga, the yoga of action through selfless service, it feels so in alignment that that's just what you want to do. That's just the moving force of your life. But I always think about, well, then isn't it somewhat selfish to want to do selfless service? So is it, maybe it's selfish, selfless service?
listen, but so it's all about the intention. That's it. It's all about the intention. So, oh my God.
But it's the
So,
way the world works. Krishna talks about this in the Gita, that the life on earth revolves around people serving
yeah.
each other. And you were talking about something that we had this incredible like example of this the other day. Me and my wife, we made a dedicated effort just to get our kids' room set in this house before anything. And so we're on Amazon, we went to IKEA, we Target, all these places just to get their beds and their dressers. And they were so excited because they were getting stuff, more and more and more stuff. But by the end of the day, they were fighting with each other in awful emotional states, that it was just such a clear example that getting stuff is an illusionary form of happiness, that it is not deep and it passes so quickly. We were at the shops, we made the purchase, they're excited. Oh, my room, I'm going to have a desk. And after all of these travels, they just wanted a room again, and they got it and were set it. And by the end of the day, there was such just irritability, and there was bitterness and anger and fighting. And
That's something.
it was an amazing example that I had to point out to them.
Yeah. And
they don't like when I point things out.
They don't.
No kids like when their fathers
it.
point things out.
Nobody
Stuff will not make you happy. Stuff will not make you happy.
In fact, we can take it a little further even. And the yogis might even say, stuff will make you unhappy.
You're absolutely right. And I'm really trying to practice that here. Simplicity. Like, I don't want to fill these houses and this garage and these closets with more and more stuff.
Yeah.
Keep life. Shamdas, I've shared this. He said, in simplicity, you find peace.
That's it.
In peace, you find happiness. When
and
your life is cluttered, there's no peace.
And if we take it back to what we were just talking about, it's like we know where the real happiness comes from. And whether stuff will make you happy or unhappy, see, it's not going to make you happy or unhappy. But what's going to make you happy or unhappy is your connection or your disconnection from spirit.
I woke up with that thought the other day. I was really meditating on exactly this. Is like, can yogis really, do they have to renounce the world? Or can yogis have sex and have nice homes and a lot of money? I don't know where this thought came from, waking up with it in the morning. And I think you hit it, though. And it's like, be in the world, but not of the world, right? And this was something, it was a verse that I read from the Gita on our Janmashtami Kirtan the other night. And you spoke about this. Ram loves only love. Krishna says, whoever essentially comes to me, who worships me with
pure devotion,
will come to me. And that's like, make this the number one part of your life. This is your major focus. And that's where you're going to find happiness, regardless of what externally transpires in your life.
And again, the beautiful piece of it is that when we really find that connection, it opens all the doors of abundance and prosperity and success and courage and strength and fortitude and all of the things that we might sit there and say, that's what I want. I want to be more courageous, or I want to have more money, or I want to have better relationships. If we can cultivate that deep relationship with our higher self, which is Ram, which is Hanuman, which is Sita, and we really purify that, well, our right relationships just come to us. They're just attracted to us, like the way we're attracted to Krishna. That same way, like the way that people were attracted to Neem Karoli Baba. He was just sitting there on his tucket. He was just sitting there in his plaid, but he was radiating so much, so much self-realization, you know, and so much love that he drew people to him. And the same thing, he Baba could just reach into a river and pull out a sack of 100,000 rupees if he wanted to. And he said, all the money in the world is mine. And he meant it. And he never, wanted for anything, even though all he wanted was his plaid blanket and probably some chapatis.
Mm.
Um, but, uh, and so on and so on and so on. So it's this beautiful dichotomy, is that when we really step into that deep, deep connection to spirit, well, then spirit provides anything that we need.
Yes, and I think so much of this just comes back to faith.
Mm.
That if you have that faith that wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, that nothing is wrong, because God has put you right there. And wherever you are, you're feeling God's presence. So what could be wrong with any moment that you're in? Even if it doesn't look pretty, it's just the way it's supposed to be. And there's divinity within it, because that's just the way things are. But that foundational, devotional pillar of faith is what allows you to have that trust that there are no mistakes in life. And that gives you such deep fortitude and almost unbreakable courage, versus, to me, the word confidence is very shallow. It's like an egoic confidence, where courage comes from something much deeper.
That's right.
And it's that faith and that trust and that alignment that comes with that faith, that everything is exactly as it should be. And with that, you have the tools when things don't look the way they are. You have the tools to just work with them and massage them in a calm and more balanced way. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm speaking idealistically.
Yeah, of course, we
not
always are.
necessarily
Everyone,
personally.
just so you know, everybody, we're talking idealistically. Oh my God, yeah.
The direction.
I had a really, I had a really calm moment of distress recently that for some reason I'm feeling compelled to share. We were out for dinner with some friends, and someone said, do you want to try my ravioli? And I was like, oh, well, is it vegetarian? And they were like, oh yeah, it's totally vegetarian. And I said, are you sure? And they said, yeah, it's vegetarian. And they put the ravioli on my plate, and I popped the ravioli in my mouth. I got about, half a chew into it. And I was like, that's not vegetarian. That tastes like bacon. And they were like, oh my God. Oh my God. And they started freaking out, and they were apologizing so much. But and it was the first time I had bacon in, like, I mean, I don't even remember. It's literally like that's like the number one thing I stopped eating was pork, and then slowly everything else trickled down. But so it's been just ages since I ate bacon, and I think my thought was, it was really interesting, because my thought was, I should be upset right now, you know? And I wasn't upset, and it wasn't because it tasted delicious. It was it didn't really taste delicious one way or another. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, what have I been missing or anything like that. But it was definitely like, oh, that's bacon. I remember that flavor. But because it was, it just, it like it, what my intention was not to eat it wasn't
Yeah.
it was like, it was an accident, you know? And I just immediately went there. I never even had a moment of like,
Oh my God, I
oh my
ate
God,
bacon.
I ate bacon. What have you done to me?
Oh my God,
I'm like,
I
I'm gonna turn into a
the
pig.
vegetarian police are gonna get me.
Oh my God, yeah, right. I mean, do I still get to lead
I
kirtan?
broke my vegetarianism.
Now I have to start over. I've been vegetarian for 12 years. Now I'm day one. But I definitely, like, it was interesting though, because the person who gave it to me was like so devastated. I mean, she was projecting upon me, you know. And not only that, but she had, the thing didn't say in the menu either that it had bacon. It was like cheese raviolis, but it was smothered with all this like bacon sauce or whatever, and it didn't even say it in the menu. So she thought she was ordering a vegetarian thing as well. She's not vegetarian, so it wasn't a big deal. And she went ahead and ate it. But anyway, it was uh it was just a really funny moment, and she was like horrified, and I just wasn't. So it was, but I think I think that I don't know why I wanted to tell that story.
Well, what I'm getting from it is with that faith, something in the heart shifts to just recognizing that everything is okay.
Yeah,
People say, well, how do you get calm? I want to be more calmer. I don't want to freak out about everything. Well, I'm starting to believe that it's about your spiritual connection. It's about faith. It's not something that you can muscle your way into as being more calm.
yeah,
But when you turn towards the light and turn your life to God and 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 have faith that God puts you in the perfect place at the perfect time, the perfect moment always,
yeah.
then a certain calmness comes with life. And it's like a fresh breath air to not have to be so dramatic about everything.
Yeah, and in this case, it's like Ram doesn't love me because I don't eat bacon. Do you
Yeah.
know, or like that's not a thing. Like if anything, um, I'm happy to be a vegetarian, but I also understand that there's like a lot of fundamentalism in vegetarian and in meat eating. And, I mean,
Mm.
like so many people are, the really uptight vegan, who literally would have had to go into the bathroom and stick their finger down their
Mm.
throat,
Mm.
like out of some belief that I don't know that they were being poisoned, you know, by this little teeny bite, of bacon. And
So the question is, did you spit it out or did you swallow it?
oh, I mean, I totally swallowed it. It was already, it was, it was, it was like one of those like chew, 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 swallow. Wait a second.
And maybe even like, huh, that was pretty good.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, I did,
Yeah, huh, that
I
was
mean,
pretty good.
it was, but it was like a refreshing moment it was very subtle. And these little moments,
Yeah.
you catch these little moments. And I think it's like, because to me, people talk about like, how about this word miracle, right? So a lot of people like to say, oh, miracles are always happening. And it's just a matter of like, are you tuning into it, And me staying calm, with someone feeding me bacon is like a little teeny miracle,
Mm, that's
because
beautiful.
that's like something maybe in the past I would have, or at least like what I didn't even do was like try to like make them feel bad,
Right.
or like make lots of, jokes about it, and like make that the whole conversation, or, these little subtle things that you might do in that kind of a situation, or that I might have done, in the past. But
Mm.
I think I made a joke or two, but just to lighten the lighten the room a little bit. But anyway, so
Right
here I am.
on.
I'm admitting on the Love Everyone podcast, everybody, I ate bacon,
And you're still alive.
and you know what? And I'm okay.
Yeah. You look great, man. You look healthy to
Well,
me.
maybe that's, the bacon maybe just added a little
Gave you a
sheen,
little glow.
little glow. Oh man. So
Oh
you got
boy.
anything else, or should we take a hit?
Let's take a hit. Let's
Okay,
take
let's
a
take a
hit. I'm
hit.
ready for a hit. I'm ready
Yeah.
to get just loaded on the L,
Let's get high
on the
on love,
LSD.
service, and devotion. All right. So we've got a beautiful quote today,
Mm,
everybody. Um, and it is from our beloved Ram Dass. And Ram Dass said, oh, this is such a good one. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say to this one, Govind Das. You can't push yourself into enlightenment. You can only wait for grace.
mm.
You want to hear that one more time?
Yeah, one more time.
You can't push yourself into enlightenment. You can only wait for grace. Huh. It's kind of like you can't push yourself into um, Hanuman asana.
Mm,
You can only lean towards it and hope it happens one day.
mm.
So, what do you got?
I think this is what makes bhakti so special, is that it's not really, well, we've talked about this quote before, that it's one part effort, one part grace.
Mhm.
One wing, the bird of bhakti flies with one wing of your own effort doing your practices, and the other is grace. And I think we talked about that in like episode 2 or 3 or 4,
Mhm.
as I remember. But it brings me to this, one of the last lines of the Guru Stotram. You know how we chant our opening Guru prayers, everybody, at the beginning of each podcast. Well, it's like 17 or 18 verses in total. We don't chant all of them, but one of the last verses, it goes, Dhyanmulam Gurur Murti, Puja Mulam Gurur Padam, Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam, Moksha Mulam Gurur Kripa. And it's that last one, Moksha Mulam Gurur Kripa. And it means that your enlightenment comes only from the grace of the Guru.
Hmm.
It doesn't even say anything about your own effort. Your moksha, your spiritual freedom, your enlightenment will come through the grace of the Guru.
So that's that last part. What are the first three part? Like the first one is
Dhyanmulam Gurur Murti. Meditation is the form of the Guru.
Okay.
Gurur Murti, Murti the form.
Uh-huh.
What else is it? Dhyanmulam Gurur Murti.
Man-
Puja Mulam Gurur Padam. The feet of the Guru is puja.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah. The third one is so amazing. Mantra Mulam Gurur Vakyam. Mantra is the feet, is the speech of the Guru. Mantra is the speech of the Guru. Moksha Mulam Gurur. What did I say?
Kripa.
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 Grace of the Guru is enlightenment, is your spiritual freedom, is your moksha.
Wow. That's
so
good.
That's what I'm getting. So wait for grace. Do what you do. do your practices, be a good person, do your best to shine your light and be selfless, do your chalisas every day. But we can't muscle our way to some thing in the future. Just relax, quiet the mind, open your heart, as Ram Dass says, and just let it all flow. And at the perfect time, spiritual freedom will come as the grace of the Guru, as Hanuman Kripa, as Ram Kripa. So it's quite liberating, right? That it's out of our hands, that it's not in our hands. Because if it's in our hands, that's when we tend to make ourselves crazy. When it's out of our hands, we can just relax and enjoy life.
Yeah. I love this word force,
Yeah.
you know, because I feel like that's something that we do so often in life, just trying to like force the situation,
Mm.
no matter what it is, right? We're just like, I want this outcome in this situation, and I'm not going to just stand back and let it happen. I'm going to force it to happen, And I think this is like the root of so much of our conflict with people in our lives, um, and 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 when you get into like the more the spiritual realm, that's why I made that crack about Hanuman asana, because yoga, of course, the physical postures of yoga is a beautiful like way to to gauge where we're at, because when I first started doing yoga, first of all, I was a lot younger and a lot, you know, stronger, and I don't know, probably even ate bacon back then. And, I, so I had lots of good protein. Don't you love that when people say, "Oh, you're vegetarian? Where do you
How,
get your, where
how
do
do
you
you get?
get your protein?"
Let me tell you my breakfast this morning. Ready? Some granola, handful of sunflower seeds, handful of almonds, handful of chia seeds, handful of hemp seeds, a scoop of that nutso stuff. You know what nutso is? You
Yeah,
get
I
it
know what
at
nutso
Costco. It's
stuff
this
is. Yeah.
epic nut butter
Yeah.
and with some coconut milk on it.
Uh,
And this was like a protein bowl, man. You can get so much
Yeah, but
protein.
Govind does. It's not the good. It's not the
It's not
good protein.
it's not bacon.
It's not
It's
bacon.
not
It's not.
bacon.
All right. So no, but like when I first started doing yoga, I was injuring myself all the time because I was strong enough and limber enough and young enough and everything, and I had so much ego around it, that I was like, I was always physically fit and I worked out a lot before I ever did yoga. And so like, if the teacher would say go into this pose and I couldn't do it, like I would try to force myself into the pose, and I was constantly like injuring myself, and I didn't understand it. But of course my physical practice over now 20 plus years has totally evolved, where I have now when the teacher says there's that pose that I know I can't do, I have no problem not doing it.
Oh, I love not doing it.
I know. I'm like,
Right?
just
Isn't
like
that
go into
so
headstand,
liberating?
and I'm just like, I don't do headstand.
No
Thank,
thanks.
thank
No
you very
thanks.
much.
But just even the words yoga and injury is very contradictory. When you
It
were
is.
talking about it, seems so like they don't jive together. Why would there ever be an injury in yoga? Well, of course, when our mind isn't doing yoga.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Because that was just my ego and my body wanting to prove something to the teacher or the girl next to me, or who knows, right? Or myself. And so but I love this because this sentence is, you can't force yourself into enlightenment, right? I mean, like, what, who would even have that thought?
Mm,
But yet, how many people have you met? They're like, I'm going to India. I want to meet my guru.
mm,
Like, well, I don't think you can like just, you shouldn't plan on that, you know? Or, I remember once I was in a meditation class and this woman got up and she said, you know, I've been meditating, you know, every day for 6 months now, you know, and I'm still a mess, basically what she said, you know. And, and the teacher was like, hey, you know, I've been meditating for 2 hours every day for 25 years and I'm still a mess, you know. So, but I think what you said too is a really insightful thing. Is that this kind of like takes some of the pressure off or something, and it's like kind of like, oh, it's a relief. Oh, okay, so how does grace? You know, how do we cultivate grace? Well, we cup our hands, and then we wait. And that cupping of the hands is the mantra, the puja, um, and those, you know, different practices, the meditation, the mantra, and the puja. This is the cupping of the hands, and but the grace is out of our hands, and
mm.
may, if you know, um, if Ram is pleased, will fall in our hands and we'll be able to catch it. But um, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? The grace question. Or
I have been meditating on this quite a bit lately, and I'm really sensing one of the biggest learning experiences that comes through bhakti is the recognition that I'm not the controller, that
mm,
I'm not the doer. And as we have in this tradition, we always say, Ram is the doer, Ram is the doer, Ram is the doer. God is the supreme controller of the universe. But when we don't have this practice in our life, we think we're the doer. We think we're the controller of everything. And so these, like this forcing our way and muscling our way through our life, which has been passed down to us through family, culture, media, advertising, just do it. You know,
hey, even in the spiritual realms, you know, just learn how to manifest.
yeah, learn how to manifest. Like, so what's essential here is surrender.
Mm,
If we can just surrender that sense of doership and controllership, which is the perennial spiritual practice and the biggest ask of a human being, because it means letting go. It means letting go and letting God.
mm.
But we're so glued to this ego that wants to be the doer, that wants to be in control of everything and everyone. And that's what's making us miserable.
It sure is. It sure is.
That's what makes life suck.
Yeah. But guess what makes life good? Hanuman,
Hanuman,
Sitaram,
Sita. How about Krishna? What a
Krishna.
beautiful weekend. How was
Oh
your
my
kirtan, your
God.
Janmashtami
Oh,
kirtan?
kirtan on Saturday was like a balm for my soul. I think last time we met was I was I was beginning a 2 week kirtan free
That's right. You said
period, and
that.
I was
That's right.
really scared about it, and it was really really hard.
Yeah.
Many of my demons decided to come and visit me during that 2 week period, but the kirtan just washed it all away.
Dude, I have to say this. I hope you don't get upset at me.
Oh,
But the new album doesn't have a Maha mantra on
I
it. What
know.
is up with that,
I
brother? I know
know.
how much you love singing the Maha mantra.
I know. I know. We have a single coming out though soon. I'm not sure exactly. It's a Maha Mantra.
Oh, good, good.
So I know it's crazy because we actually have many Maha Mantra melodies, and we've actually never recorded. This
Hmm.
will be our first Maha Mantra melody coming out on this single sometime maybe later this fall. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to release it, um, and but just I mean, we sang for 2 hours, and the people at the church were like flashing the lights in the back and everything, trying to get me out of there, trying to wrap it up. And I just couldn't stop, and we would like finish and everyone would think we're finished. And I would just start another one.
I did it 3 times. I did the same exact 3 times on Friday night. I could not finish.
And everyone seemed too short.
Yeah.
Like, we did 5 chants or something. I mean, everyone seemed too short, especially the last one.
Mm.
Because the last one was like I just felt like I just got started,
Yeah.
and but what was amazing too, I mean, there's nothing like a full 2 hours of Maha Mantra,
Mm.
man.
Mm.
I mean, it's so good for the
Mm.
soul. But what was amazing is that normally, like when we finish, there's always a few people who like pop up right away and like gotta hit the door or whatever, like nobody left. They would listen to me talk about the Hanuman Chalisa sadhana. They listened to me talk about,
Dude, I had the same exact experience. That's so funny.
yeah. Well, it's just like because it's like kind of what we were talking about before. Like if once you've tasted the darshan of Ram, like why would you want stuff? Why would you
Mm.
want? Wouldn't you just want to like be in connection with that all the time? And it's like that. It's like we get so hypnotized with our lives and everything, and to the point where how many people tell me all the time like, oh, I really wanted to come to kirtan, but and I know I should come to kirtan, but oh, I really wish I come to kirtan more, that kind of thing. But when you're really there in that moment, right, and you are now 2 hours in, and you are tasting the bliss from the kirtan and from the practice and the satsang, like why would you want to go anywhere?
Mm. Well, I was just thinking about this with Maharaji. People would come sit with Maharaji and they wouldn't want to leave. So he would have to say, Jao, get lost. Come on. There's more to life than me. Go do your work. Because it just felt so good to be sitting at his feet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
The
And you
nectar
and you
was
just
overflowing.
don't want to leave, so I get it, I get it. I didn't want to leave either.
I didn't want to
I was
leave
about
either.
ready to like pay off the church, you know, give them some
Give
more
him
money to let
another
me do
hour of
another
rent.
hour.
That's great.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a beautiful night. I love the John Mashtami,
Mm,
the but I love, but listen, I love Shiva and
mm,
Sitaram and all these too. So I wouldn't want to just sing Maha Mantra. I would definitely miss my Sri Rams, and but it's super sweet.
mm, definitely.
Is it time to
All
start
right.
wrapping it
I
up?
think that's it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's close out. Hope you've enjoyed everybody. Maybe there's some people still listening. We're not sure,
I'm sure
but
there are.
whoever
And
is, really thank you everybody for all the support. We've gotten so many messages from people all over the world. And if you've been enjoying this podcast, just we ask you share it with people, and it's a place where people can come for satsang. And when you're driving or you're cooking or wherever it may be, you listen to the Love Everyone podcast, and you can be in that presence of satsang and Hanumanji.
hey, since you took it into the little bit of a podcast commercial there, I want to just follow up with one other thing, is that if you don't have plans for Thanksgiving, this year and you want to be in satsang in person, you could come and join us in Taos, New Mexico. Govindas is going to be there with Jacqueline. I'm going to be there with Melissa. Saul David Ray is going to be there. It's a redo of our Hanuman Maui experience, our Maui retreat in the
Bhakti in
spring.
Paradise.
Bhakti in Paradise, and this one's going to be Bhakti in Taos. And we are going to also be going to the Neem Karoli Baba temple there. And in fact, we just found out this morning, did you see that text from Lauren?
I did not.
That we're going to be having our Thanksgiving prasad meal at the Taos Hanuman Neem Karoli Baba ashram.
Wow,
I mean,
that's
I just got
great.
chills. I just got
Come,
chills.
everybody, join us, join us, join us, please.
So
you can go to, what is it, lotusretreats.org, I think, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
you can reach out to to us too, Bhakti Yoga Shala. You can, but yeah, it's going to be the 24th to the 29th, I believe, of November. So 4 nights, 5 days, going to be nonstop kirtan, nonstop bhakti workshops, nonstop prasadam.
And during Thanksgiving time, which is really beautiful, that we can share that gratitude and be at the temple. I'm sure we'll go do 11 chalisas at the temple and have some time there, which is Maharaji's ashram, USA ashram.
I'm so excited. I've never been.
Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. I haven't been to the new
one. Yeah.
New Murti and the new temple. So this is going to be great. This is going to be just fabulous. So come join us, everybody. Be a part of this Love Everyone community. And again, share it with anybody you think that may appreciate it, enjoy it.
Cool. All right, everybody. So we'll just do our closing prayers. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
May all beings, including ourselves, be happy, be well, and be free from suffering. May all of our thoughts, may all of our words, and may all of our actions in some way contribute to that happiness, that well-being, and that freedom from suffering for all, including ourselves, including ourselves, including ourselves.
Love everyone, serve everyone, feed everyone, and remember God.
Siyavari Rama Chandra ki.
Jai.
Sankatamochan Hanuman ki.
Jai.
Shri Rama Dutta Hanuman ki.
Jai.
Jai Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman ki.
Jai.
Hey, thank you so much, everybody. Love Everyone podcast. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Govind. Thank you, Govindas, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We love you so much, and we look forward to joining you again, hopefully next week.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Sita Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.